Today we're talking about the brand new Sigma 16-28mm f2.8 DGDN. But first, if you're new to the channel, my name is Anson, and on this channel we talk about filmmaking, specifically filmmaking gear, tutorials, and a look at the projects that I'm working on. And so if that's something you're into, consider subscribing. Now, as of a couple minutes ago, Sigma did just launch a brand new lens for their DGDN lineup. This is a full frame 16mm to 28mm f2.8. Now, I did have the privilege of testing this lens out a little bit early, and so I'm going to give you some thoughts around this lens and what I think about this lens. But with that, I do want to mention that Sigma did send me this lens, but as always, they're not requiring to say anything specifically other than Sigma is the best lens manufacturer in all the world, and this is an absolute beast of a lens and you probably should buy it, but that's really all they're asking me to say. Of course, I'm kidding. They're not requiring I say anything specifically, and so you get my full and honest opinion. Now, I am going to go ahead and dive on into what I think about this lens, and we are going to break down this lens by the image, the build, and my overall thoughts / who I think could be useful for. And let's start by talking about the image. Just like any other recent Sigma lens, this lens is going to be a really sharp and clean image all the way across your frame. This is going to be such a good lens for corporate or maybe real estate work because it does offer a really clean and sharp image. One of my favorite things about this lens is just the focal range that it offers. 16 to 28mm is such a useful focal range. You have really wide angle focal lengths like 16 and 20. You also have some more mid to wide focal lengths with 24mm and 28mm. And so having that 16 to 28 just offers a lot of really useful focal lengths, especially for things like street photography or videography, maybe travel videography, something like that. It just really offers a lot of really useful focal lengths all in this one lens. And on top of that, with the 2.8, you do get some decent low light performance, and with a decent minimum focusing distance, you have the ability to get some subject isolation even with a wide angle lens. Something to mention too is that the firmware has been updated already on this lens, and so if you're using the Sigma FP, you will be able to do linear focusing up to 720 degrees, which is really helpful if you want more precise manual focusing when you are manually focusing with this lens. Now, something you do want to keep in mind when you are getting this lens, because this is an ultra wide lens, if you do plan on using it with a matte box, somewhere around the 16mm range, you are going to see the matte box, but obviously that does take care of itself as you zoom in a little bit. But know at that ultra wide focal length, you are going to see the matte box if you do plan on using one. But with that said, overall, I've been really impressed with the overall image of this lens. If you want a good, clean, just sharp image, this is absolutely a lens to consider. And so with that, let's go over and talk about the build of the lens. And honestly, with the amazing image quality, what is the biggest selling point of this lens really is the build of the lens, because with the lens coming in around 16 inches in length and 4 ounces in weight, this is a really good compact zoom lens. And I'll be honest, it probably could have been smaller if they let the barrel extend when you're zooming. But that's another thing that's really nice, is the fact that all the zooming is done internally. And so that makes it perfect for gimbal use, so that you don't have to readjust or recalibrate the gimbal when you are zooming in or zooming out. Now, this lens is equipped with a manual focus and autofocus switch, and it does come with a 72mm filter thread. But overall, the biggest selling point is the size of the lens. It is almost the same exact size as a 28 to 70, and with the two lenses combined, you're looking at just around 2 pounds. Having the combo of the 16 to 28 and the 28 to 70 all coming in a package of around 2 pounds really is ideal for people that are trying to stay lightweight, more run and gun, or maybe even be more travel friendly if you do want to cut down on weight on your entire setup. And so with that, let's talk about my overall thoughts and who I might recommend this for. Honestly, overall thoughts, this is just another stellar lens from Sigma. This is something that we've come to expect from Sigma lenses, especially in the recent years. They really just make stellar lenses and almost make perfect lenses. Now, depending on how you shoot, that may be a downside. Maybe you want those imperfections or maybe some of those character flaws from lenses. That's where you don't necessarily go with Sigma. But if you need need a good, clean, sharp image, this is absolutely one to check out, just like any other Sigma lens that may be in this lineup. I would absolutely recommend this lens for people that are traveling, trying to have a lightweight setup, especially if you want a 16-28 as well as a 28-70. Being able to stay really lightweight with the combo of lenses, it's really just a no-brainer. If you're traveling and you want a light setup, having this pair of lenses is just amazing. And so if you're trying to have a more lightweight setup, or potentially if you're doing a lot of gimbal work, like I said before, this is almost the perfect gimbal lens. And so if you are traveling and wanting a lighter setup or doing more gimbal work, if that's you, I would absolutely check out the Sigma 16-28mm f2.8 DGDN. And so that's it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to give it a like. And if you're digging the overall content from the channel, consider subscribing. If you do have any more questions about this lens, let me know in the comments below. As always, thank you for joining. Go and find your journey. Go embrace life. Stay safe. Be happy. Support each other. Wash those hands, and I'll see you here next time. Peace.